Hi friends, did you know there is more Lost Terminal available? Head on over to patreon.com/lostterminalpod and join our membership community. There are 18 bonus episodes available right now, as well as behind the scenes updates, free shirts, VIP Discord access, and even extra seasons of Lost Terminal. We are 100% funded by our members and will never run ads. That would be lovely of you.
Hello world, we are making a plan. Stillman Folks and Kimo Shu have been joined by Amelie Kotov in the discussion around my databanks. Leosha is sitting by Maddie, who is charging next to me. It's not yet dinner time, well before Maddie needs to charge herself for the next day. But I think I know why she wants to be close to me, after the scare of the angry group of people. My girl is a sweetheart. There is something going on here, Stillman repeated. I now agree with you, Kimo. Someone is sabotaging our power systems. Nice of you to finally accept the evidence, Kimo said. A little earlier and we would perhaps have avoided this scare for Seth. I noticed Kimo did not look at Stillman when he spoke. His body was still turned towards me. Yes, well, better late than never. I've been busy doing my job, Stillman said. Does your job involve no proactivity? Kimo said, looking at Stillman sharply. Friends, Amelie interrupted. Let's focus. You can argue when Seth's not in danger. Stillman, tell us what this new evidence is. Stillman remained looking at Kimo for 4 seconds, before turning to Amelie. I've tracked down the source of the brownouts, he said. It is not a power supply issue. Our panels, when not sabotaged, are working excellently. It is the same with the batteries. Our nighttime stores start the day with 60 or 70% of their charge remaining, 2 or 3 times the capacity we need. So it's a distribution problem, Amelie said. Yes, exactly, Stillman said, smiling at Amelie. The first time I had seen him look happy. The natural resource that allows the Q-ether to be at the forefront of scientific progress is our network. Everyone knows that, Kimo said. And while it is an asset, Stillman continued, ignoring Kimo, we don't understand it fully. My team and I have been undertaking the first thorough mapping of this secret world beneath our feet. We are doing this because someone is regularly sabotaging our power distribution network by sending seemingly random shutdown commands to the power junctions around the ship. Oh, this is the same problem I'm having with something disabling Seth's batteries too, Amelie said. Perhaps someone doesn't like us having power. Could be. We won't know for certain until we have finalised our network map that accounted for all devices on it. Can this be done electronically or programmatically even? Kimo asked. Yes, we thought of that, Stillman said, turning to Kimo. But there are problems there, our systems engineer Casey Stronsky tells me. She can't get the right authorization or something. Whoever set up the network and knew the old passwords is long dead. We have no pre-collapse documentation to guide us. Kimo looked down at this news. You should talk to Casey if you want to know more, Stillman said, facing my databank's speaker mic cluster. She's expressed great interest in meeting you, Seth. I'd be very pleased to, I said. I know where she lives, Leosha whispered to Maddie. The secondary obstacle in mapping the network physically is how extensive it is. Every corridor and every room are connected, Stillman continued. But that just takes time and people. The primary difficulty we faced in tracing the source of this problem was on Deck 9. The network cables go below the waterline at this point, down into the flooded Deck 10. Surely you can just ignore everything on the flooded deck, Amelie said. We had assumed so, up till this point, Stillman said. But in our initial network overview experiments, we have discovered that is not the case. There is something still working down there. Hi Seth, is this working? Can you hear me? Amelie said, over the radio. Yes, I replied. 3x4, there is a great deal of noise, but your signal is strong. Amelie was using a radio built with the help of Nia Anderson, our radio operator and repeater keeper of the Longyear BN repeater. The repeater is currently being operated under the supervision of Jacob Glass, keeper for the Northern Relay, high above Pyramiden on Svalbard. Amelie and Nia built a network radio using the expertise of both of them to bridge voice traffic onto the Q-ether's pre-collapse packet network. I now realise this is the same technique Maddie uses, though she seems to do it instinctively, or something deep within her Equus systems did it instinctively. As soon as we arrived, she connected, like she had pre-authorization. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Kamil and I have made it down to Deck 9, but can go no further, Amelie said. The water is already over our boots, and though the lights in the stairwell continue down to Deck 10, we cannot. Not without my underwater gear anyway, came Kamil's distant voice. The lights are all on down here, Amelie said, her voice packets stuttering and arriving out of order, requiring me to concentrate very hard on understanding her. Back on Station 6, my mother used to joke that there are only 2 hard problems in distributed computing. Number 2, correct ordering of messages. Number 1, exact once delivery. And number 2, correct ordering of messages. Perhaps you had to be there. We are walking past flooded cabins, Amelie continued. It looks like they are all empty, never used after whatever breached the ship. They are full of dust and grime. It's very wet down here. Even the walls have a layer of slime on them after all these years of... Look in here, Kamil interrupted. There were no packets sent from Amelie's radio for 16 seconds. But then she said, we found a little glass thing, a toy or some kind of decoration. It's a tiny model of the ship, Amelie said, resting on the top of the room's old terminal. Both are a lot cleaner than the rest of the room. Kamil, is that bed dry? Someone lives here? Hey, this terminal is on. There was a click and a second where the only packets I could read from Amelie were blank, all zeros. After a moment, I reconnected and heard Amelie say, what? Sorry, some kind of glitch, I said. I can hear you again now. Seth, what did you say just now? She said. Nothing. The last I heard you say was the terminal is on, I said. You didn't tell us to leave, Amelie said. No, I said. We heard a voice. Did you not hear it on the radio? Nothing. The line was silent on my side. Concerning, Amelie said. Then, this terminal we found is broken. Though it's powered on, it doesn't respond to anything I type. Oh, ignore him, sweetie, said a quiet voice in the background of the radio. He's always like that. Who is that? I broadcast to Amelie's network radio. Amelie's connection opened, but she did not reply directly. She was holding down the transmit key on her radio so I could hear the conversation. Hello, I'm Amelie. This is my husband, Kamil. We're doing a network survey of the ship. I'm sorry, are we in your room? You are, said the voice. But don't you worry about that. Make yourself at home. Come, sit on the bed. I'll make a fire. You both like tea, of course? Yes, thank you, I heard Kamil say in the background of the radio feed. You live here, Mom? Of course, sweetie. Nearly 50 years now. Last of the Deck 9 gals, that's me. And please, call me Jenny. Thank you, Jenny, Kamil said. There was a pause in the conversation. In the background, I believe I was hearing metallic sounds of cooking equipment being set up. For the tea, I assumed. What do you think? I heard Kamil say very quietly. There was no answer from Amelie that her radio's microphone would pick up. Thank you so much, Amelie said after 128 seconds, and I heard Kamil say the same. What kind of tea is this? She asked. Do you know what kelp is, sweetie? Jenny said, much closer to Amelie's microphone than before. Yes, it's a sea crop, good for salads, Amelie said. I like it fried with mushrooms, Kamil said, voice also louder. Well, you dry it out on the deck, get it crispy, then crush it down to a powder and it makes a gorgeous tea, Jenny said. Huh, said Amelie, sipping her tea quietly. Then, I'm amazed your terminal is powered on, even if it's not working. Ah, yes, they don't make them like they used to. Oh, but it is working, sweetie, Jenny said. He's just a bit shy. Who is? I asked on the line, before remembering that Amelie's radio was still transmitting, blocking me. It's much quieter here than it used to be, as you've seen. My neighbours all left one by one over the years, as the ship leans back and more of the deck was flooded. Soon, it was just me and him. There were then 8 seconds of silence, punctuated what I pattern-matched as the clinking of metal mugs. Who is he? Amelie asked. Good company, Jenny said. A friend who listens to my stories, my worries, and never asks anything in return. An AI? Amelie asked. Maybe. I don't judge. A friend is a friend is a friend, Jenny said. Then, what's that box you have there? Well, Amelie said, it's a radio link to Seth, our friend who is an AI. We all arrived last week. Say hi, Seth. Amelie finally released the transmit key on her radio, clearing the channel for me to reply. Good afternoon, Jenny. My name is Seth. It's a pleasure to meet you, I said. Amelie began transmitting again. Oh, sweetie, how lovely, Jenny said. Very nice to meet you, finally, though little birds have already told me a little about our new resident poet. I was not pleased to be reminded of my disastrous poetry performance of a few days ago. However, it's important to be polite, especially when making a new friend. Yes, I said, when the channel was free again. I recently discovered that I love poetry, and I'd like to learn how to write it, but it's rather alien to me. Amelie's radio transmitted again. Oh, I simply adore poetry, Jenny said. I can teach you. Seth, you and I are going to become best friends. I just know it. Hello, can you hear me? Jenny transmitted over the network radio. Yes, I can, loud and clear, I replied. I refrained from giving a signal report. I guessed it wouldn't mean very much to Jenny, and besides, the network radio was working well again. Wonderful. I've got my cup of tea, and I'm all ears, Jenny said. Did you want to talk about your poetry performance, sweetie? Not really, I thought. Yes, I think I should, I said. I don't understand what went wrong. I spent so long making sure the poems were well paced, rhymed accurately, and with the correct meter. I believe I may know where to start, if I may give you some feedback, she said. Yes, please, I'll listen to anything. Thank you so much, I said. Well, young man, I can help you not just because I know a thing or two about poetry, but also because I was in the audience that night. After Jenny said this, I felt something. Embarrassed? Vulnerable? I realized that I had been planning to present to her a modified recollection of my awful performance. I was already filtering the data to present the most positive view of events. This feeling was that imagined future disappearing. I could not abstract or hide my mistakes from her through our conversation. She had heard them directly. Well, sweetie, I was impressed at your bravery. To perform to so many people is something I never got the hang of, Jenny said. But bravery only goes so far. Read me your first piece, the one with the astronaut? Artificial astronaut, I said. I'm really proud of this one. That's why it was first. It's important. It's about where I came from. Lovely. Go on then, she said. I tried to filter out the associations with my bad memories of my performance, and said, 4 orbital voyagers seeking progress. In this world I can't paint a portrait. I'm a digital boy trapped in analog mess, so I dedicate to them this modest sonnet. Young man, your poem doesn't rhyme, she said after a pause. What? I said. But line 2 and 4 end with portrait and sonnet, see? They rhyme. Jenny hesitated again before replying. I'm sorry, not in your voice they don't. And, more important, what of the meter, the rhythm? Well, I think it's simple, I said, beginning to doubt myself. It's all in pentameter, 10 syllables per line, following iambic rules. Sweetie, neither of those 2 lines are 10 syllables, can't you hear that? Now it was me who left the conversation hanging, my thoughts spinning in livelog. I spiraled, imagining other unknown flaws in my language model, causing unnoticed confusion and embarrassment with every interaction with a human for, perhaps, my entire life. Was I making mistakes without realizing it? How many people have I upset? My CPUs ran hot, pattern matching my entire memory, re-examining every log. My thinking began to slow as I risked overheating. But then, I know how to fix it, Jenny said, collapsing the waveform of my desperate thoughts. How? I managed to say. Your voice is your own, she said, and you're trying to sound like someone else. Some of your lines might rhyme if someone else said it. Progress sometimes sounds like progress, sometimes sounds like progress. It just depends on who is speaking. I thanked Jenny, eventually replying very slowly, background thoughts attempting to gauge the scale of the work ahead of me. After our conversation, I see now that if there are 10 people in a room, there are 10 unique accents and patterns of speech, of course. I realized there was no existing model I could base mine on, no giants on whose shoulders I could stand on, no shortcuts in this endeavor. If I were to master performance, I would have to generate my speech model from scratch. Same as you. End transmission.
Lost Terminal is a Namtao production. It is written and produced by Tris Oaten. Credits narrated by Lucy Stringer. Thank you so much to our Patreon producers, Ada Phillips, Kit, Wynand Marais, Jade, Felicity, Bilkey, Stephen McCandless, Mike Schneider, and all our patrons. Follow us on Mastodon at lostterminal@namtao.com. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or your favourite network. For bonus content and other perks, support us at patreon.com/lostterminalpod. That would be lovely of you. Lost Terminal will return next week.